Today on the channel, we're completing our look at the Uncanny X-Men 275 cast with Warlord, Professor X, on Way I Got It Figured.
The Way I Got It Figured.
What's up, figure fans? Way I Got It Figured, back with another Marvel Legends review. This time we're looking at Warlord, Professor X. And in discount palooza style, I got this guy for $6.97 on Walmart.com. A little while ago now, actually. We've done the entire Uncanny X-Men 275 cast at this point. We did Wolverine last year and half of the 3-packs last year, and then we did the other 3-pack this year. So we've got everybody involved in that storyline. From an X-Men standpoint, the only one left really was Professor X. And this is actually the only Professor X figure I currently own, even though he will be getting 2 releases this year. The Jim Lee era Professor X with the hover chairs being re-released. And then they're doing him in the jumpsuit, so you can swap him out, put him in the jumpsuit in the chair, or have him in a suit in the chair, whichever you prefer. And I don't know which one I'm going to do, but I'll be getting both of those figures. So I'm going from 0 to 3 Charles Xaviers in 1 year. But that's okay. For now, we're going to start with this one. And in Uncanny X-Men, Xavier was gone from the Earth. He went to the Shi'ar galaxy to be with his beloved Lalandra. And you didn't really hear anything from him for like a while. And they sort of did this in, did that subplot in a sense in X-Men 97, which of course is just a giant juxtaposition of events that happened in the comic book. But a very similar thing happened in the comic books in the 90s when I was a kid. And this figure is representing that. So you didn't really know it was Xavier. They sort of revealed it in story that it was Xavier. And they were fighting against the Shi'ar, but you found out that the Skrulls were infiltrating the Shi'ar, and they had some special super Skrull called War Skrulls that had powers and all that sort of thing. And they all battled, and everything resolved, and then everybody went back to Earth. And then suddenly you had 3,000 X-Men that they had to split up amongst like 5 different teams. So, that's the very short, very jaundiced account of what happened. But this is what Xavier was rocking when he came back. And package looks pretty cool, retro card. Xavier's in there with his helmet on. He's got some fists, and he's got an extra portrait of good old Chuck. And on the back, you got your product shot and your Warlord Professor X bio. When the Starjammers and the X-Men join forces to return the Shi'ar throne back to its rightful leader, they're guided by her mysterious Warlord, who reveals himself to be Professor Charles Xavier. That's another very simplified way of putting that. So there you go. We're going to get old Chuck out and see what we can see. Okay, here is Professor X out of the package. And he comes with 3 accessories, his extra head and his 2 fisted hands. Very cool. He stands well enough. Looks pretty good. He is, of course, on a newer body, so he's pinless. Not sure if this is the Vulcan body. And again, I know it's not because there's no butterfly joints. And even if he had butterfly joints, wait a minute, hold on. Well, he does have butterfly joints. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the Vulcan body. Um, they look like they would be in interfered with by this cape, but you can actually do a little bit with them. So there's that. That's cool. But nice detail on the figure, and you know, it's pretty basic body. He's got a little cape and chest harness on, but you don't need a whole lot for that. Like I said, the hands are just fists. They're not exactly black though, so you might have some trouble matching up other fists if you wanted to use other fists with them, because these are sort of matte, very dark gray rather than a flat black. And then you have his smiling portrait, which I guess would simulate when he was, when he revealed himself to be the X-Men and everybody was happy to see each other. And pretty decent. So there you go. And so to that end, I guess what we'll do. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You can swap out the head and have him hold the helmet like so. Yeah, he looks good. So obviously, our next move would be to bring him in, have all the X-Men with him, so that we can do that um, iconic sort of look. So give me a sec, and I'll set all that up. All right, so we've got our X-Men 275 cast. All right, so we've got our Uncanny X-Men 275 cast all posed up, all together, finally complete. A full roster of X-Men. Very little modification on any of these figures were necessary. I do think Wolverine is wearing somebody else's head, a different head that came with than what came with the Wolverine, but I like him in the angry pose because it sort of mirrors the comic book. Other than that, everybody else is stock. And they look great together. I know it's not the exact pose and the exact position everybody's in on the cover, but this is good enough. And if I was going to have like a one-off display of X-Men, that I rotate or something like that, absolutely. They look beautiful together. Bravo from the Marvel Legends team on this. A full roster of X-Men in basically a year and a half. I think that's superb. And I hope they can get around to finishing off other teams faster. Um, but this is a great one from my childhood. Well, I guess I wasn't really a child at the time. I was probably 16 or 17. But still, it's from the heyday. And they look good together. So I'm going to move on to final thoughts. And I'm not going to change anything. So, final thoughts on Uncanny X-Men Retro Card Warlord Professor X. By himself, he's not super special. He's not a terrible figure either. He's on that Vulcan body. He's got the butterfly joints. He's pinless and all that kind of good stuff that everybody likes to see. He's got the secondary portrait, and that's cool. And he completes a complete roster of X-Men all the way down the line. The only thing I could probably add to this is the Lalandra. I didn't get the Lalandra and Brood Wolverine 2 pack. And it wasn't on my horizon. mainly because I don't want to be getting the 3,000 Wolverines, but I might get her. I mean, Lilandra is a, pretty important character in the X-Men. It's not like I don't have Gladiator and that sort of thing. So, either way, these guys are complete. That's the main mission, and I'm very happy to have them. So that's going to do it for this one. We, of course, have much more in the way of Marvel Legends to cover. Still got plenty of Secret Wars guys to go, and a couple of surprises as well. So we're going to be continuing with Marvel Legends videos from now for the foreseeable future, for sure. Even if I plan to buy less Marvel Legends this year, I still got plenty to go over. That's going to do it for this one. Till next time, everybody stay safe, happy collecting. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.